Are you an incoming first year, second year, third year, fourth year, or older university student and you're stressed about course selection? You don't know what courses to take, you want to take some bird courses maybe, or you started the course selection research late and wanted to book a session with your academic advisor, only to find that all the times were taken. I may or may not have done that. If any of the above is you, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Sarah and I'm an incoming third year university student studying Queen's University in the Commerce program. By the time you see this video, my course selection is tomorrow, and the reason why I'm not super stressed is because of the tips in this video. Here are the 3 things I'll be talking about in the video: choosing professors, finding bird courses, and some key things to remember. So first is on choosing a professor. So if you don't know about this already, check Rate My Prof. This is what Rate My Prof looks like. You need to go on the website, you can put in your university name, so here's a random one. You can check out ratings for the professor, but most importantly, what other students are saying about them, including the quality and difficulty. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do if you can't find your professor on Rate My Prof, or you just want some more opinions of people that you actually know, I would highly recommend that you reach out to upper years. So if you're an incoming first year, you're probably thinking like, oh, I don't know anyone yet, so how do I do that? Literally go on LinkedIn, search up your university, search up their name. All the upper years are going to be super willing to help you out because they've been in your shoes. Now, this is the communication tip though. When they agree to help you out, what you should not do is ask them, say, hi, my name is Sarah, I'm an incoming first year. What are some professors that you had that you would recommend? No. And the reason for that is because it is so generic and it almost requires like a 2-step mental process for this upper year. So first, they need to remember which professors that they had in first year. From my personal experience, like I'm only going into third year, I can barely remember all the names. And then they need to think about, okay, what did I like about them? What were some unique instances that I want to talk about or not? So what this ends up being is that if you do actually get some names, what they say about this professor is going to be very generic because they already spent so much hassle like trying to come up with who this person is. So what you should do instead is when you go on your portal and you're exploring all your courses, take note of, for example, all the professors for an econ course. And what you would do is you would send this list, send it to the upper year and say, hey, by chance, like if you had any of these profs, are there any that you would recommend or I should avoid? So what this does is because it's more specific, they can give you more personalized feedback. And from my own experience, I found this to be super helpful. When younger years would ask me, I was able to say like, okay, yeah, definitely this prof, or no, don't take that prof, because they've listed it out for me. So that's a tip, do that. And this also applies for courses as well, which we are going to talk about right now. So now we're going to talk about actually finding these courses, especially the bird ones. So there's multiple different ways you can go about doing this. Here are a few. So first, you can join Facebook and join a bunch of the different group chats. So for example, what you can do is search up your university name and then space bird course. So on here, a lot of people are very eager to find the easy courses, and upper years, if they've done it, they will put their opinion in there. So at Queen's, what we have, and I found really useful in first year, was a group chat called Must Knows for courses at Queen's. Next, what you can do is look on Reddit. People will share their experience, but the really key thing about this is for Reddit, don't look at courses that people have given feedback for like 5 years ago, because that may no longer be relevant, but look at what's actually been written in the past 1 to 2 years. And this is especially important if you're considering an online course, because the curriculum can be so easily changed depending on the professor. Next would be looking at the course syllabus. So search up your program, the website, you'll be able to find it there. And what's really important to look at the exam structure or the entire course structure. So if you have final exams, do you want to do those exams, or would you prefer to have group assignments instead? So look at the breakdown and see if that's something that you're interested in. So what I find is that usually if a bunch of my core courses have exams, my electives, I'll try to do something that is more assignment based, so it alleviates the stress and the workload a little bit. So next, you want to ask upper years. So again, similar to what I mentioned about professors, you want to be very specific in your ask. If you're already in university, find if your club has resources. So what some clubs do is they have an Excel spreadsheet, and then there's going to be all the names of the different courses, plus people's advice and recommendations if they have done that course before. So it's a really great way for upper years to give back, and also for younger students to just kind of figure out like, oh, okay, this is a course that could be interesting. And similarly, on that note, if your club is that amazing and some people have shared notes, what you can do is go check out the notes and see if the content is something that you're interested in. And then if so, could be a course you want to take. So for the last part of the video, we are going to be looking at some key things that you should pay attention to, / if you can't decide between two courses. So the first thing is to consider your existing course load. So if you have a lot of mandatory courses that you need to take for your degree, consider taking a course in the summer. I know it kind of sucks, but take an easier one in the summer. Or if you did IB or AP or anything else and you can get transfer credits, use those transfer credits. Personal anecdote that no one asked for is in second year, at one point I was working an internship and a part-time job at the same time. So what I did was, instead of doing electives, I used my transfer credits, so that way it didn't add to my existing course load and I could dedicate some more time and commitment to these other stuff that I had going on. Next, consider if you want your elective to be online or in person. So for my electives, I usually try to take the virtual ones because they tend to be a little bit easier depending on the topic, or actually flip that around. Usually the easier topics end up being virtual, at least at Queen's University. So how you can know this is when you're trying to add your classes into your shopping cart, usually if it says to be announced, or it says online, or it just doesn't give a room number, that means that it is an online course. The third thing that you want to consider is if it's a full year or a half year course, because this will indicate how easy or hard it is for you to drop it. So number 4, do not take 8:30 classes. I swear, don't take it. So in high school, I woke up at 7, I was fine, and even now I'm mostly an early bird or like past midnight kind of person. So I'll do work in the morning or I'll do it at midnight. That's when I find I'm most productive. So I would be ambitious and sign up for these 8:30 classes. Do not do that because your brain will be tired. And even if the first couple of like weeks you think you're fine, you are going to slowly wipe out after midterm and you're going to stop listening. So don't do it. If anything, just take the 11:30 or anything later. Wait. I just remembered. The only exception and the only reason why you should be taking 8:30 classes is if that has a better professor. So in terms of priority, you should always choose your professor over the time of the class. Thank you. So my next tip is to create backups for all of your courses. What I recommend is 3 to 6. The reason for this is a couple. The first is that course enrollment dates are usually different for all the different years. So if you're in one of the later days and you choose a bird course that is really, really popular or a lot of people have been talking about, the chances of you actually getting it without being put on the wait list is pretty slim. So definitely keep your options open, have multiple, so you're not scrambling last minute fighting for these classes that like you don't really want anymore. So the next, if possible, is to sign up for your electives first, because your mandatories will just fill up a lot less because it's more program specific. So essentially it's less competitive. But also note that if your elective is a mandatory for another program, create a backup because you are not the priority. So as a disclaimer, I think I already mentioned this earlier, but don't just go for easy electives, choose some that you're genuinely interested in. And a strategy that I find really works for me is in first year and second year, I try to do a little bit more of like the easy, I'm not super interested in electives because I was still sort of adjusting and getting into the flow of everything. But after that, for example, now I'm going to take more courses that are specific to my interests, because at the end of the day, like you're paying a lot of money for university, like get your money's worth. So that's it for the video. I hope it was able to alleviate your stress a little bit or provide some more clarity. If you're in upper year and you've taken some really good courses that you would recommend, let us know in the comment section below. I'm sure a lot of people would really love that. If you found this video helpful, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!